Welcome to the Marinade, a free-flowing conversation about the creative process with creative people. Each episode, we welcome musicians, actors, comedians, authors, visual artists, filmmakers, anyone who creates art to talk about how and why we make stuff. This is a bonus episode, and our guests are Rusty Ingley and Reid Hardman. Rusty and Reid are the brain trust behind what is probably my favorite festival anywhere, and we cover a bunch of them, y'all. Orange Blossom Revue in Lake Wales, Florida. Jenn Ross and I have covered it for 5 years in a row and counting. Each year reveals something new, new connections, new sounds, new feelings. It's at that first weekend in December. My birthday's there. The air's cool. It's just like an ideal festival for me, and I'm so grateful for it. At the core of those experiences are Rusty and Reid, two men who share a passion for community and great music. This chat was such a pleasure, y'all. I am so pleased to bring you my conversation with Rusty Ingley and Reid Hardman of Orange Blossom Revue. All right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Making sure we're on, we're rolling, we sound good. We look good, we sound good.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. Awesome. Rusty, Reid, thank you guys so much for doing this. I wanted to start by saying thank you so much for this festival. It's meant so much to the Marinade. It's meant so much to both of us. Jenn Ross is here, and this is our 5th year doing this festival. And each year I take something else away. And it's not just I'm having fun, I'm having a good time, I learn about a new artist. There's like a personal discovery that happens. There is a connection that happens. So what you're doing is not just a typical festival, right? It's like there's something special about it. And I wonder how much you feel that and sort of how intentional you guys have been in building that community.
It's wild to hear you say that because I'm having like the same thoughts this year. And I think maybe everybody feels a different version of it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this year has been wild. I think maybe because we've been on site for most of the week. We're a little spent, so the nerves are a little raw. But I definitely feel differently about this year. I talked recently about the opportunities that were in front of us this year, and a lot of them came late. And it's stuff that we couldn't look away from because it accomplished some goals that we were trying for. It just showed up in a different way, and we had no idea that it was going to happen like that. Like going to Thursday, having another stage, like an SL100 real stage, and just the list of that kind of stuff goes on and on. And I'm so proud this year in a way that I haven't been, and because you finally feel like we're getting it, getting it right.
That's so interesting, especially as I think about how you've gotten it right so much in the 5 years we've been coming here, right? And so can you take us a little bit more into that? Because that's really interesting to me as someone who is here covering it, but also consuming it as a fan. It's always seemed like you've been getting it right. So,
yeah, it's kind of funny. We always talk about kind of how, each year you have this new idea and you build that, kind of run that algorithm for the first time, and you kind of say to yourself, okay, we can do this, and then you do it again, and then you do it again, and these things that have been new are now just common, and then you take on the new challenge, and it becomes easier to look back on your old challenges and say, how can we improve that? We've done it once. Let's figure out how to improve that, and then let's add these things. And this year was unprecedented with the amount of opportunities for change, new ideas, and new things. So we're still holding on, gripping onto this thing and seeing where it takes us. So,
did you have any sense that we'd be here with the Drive-By Truckers headlining on Friday night and everything that you're talking about now and the way you're feeling? And clearly you can see it in your faces that you're feeling really good about how things are going, right? Did you have any sense when you started this thing, that any vision sort of for it, or?
Ambition's kind of a weird thing, and I may have a different version of it than Rusty has. I think he's able to look a little further down the road in a real way. I was always sort of content to get that year right, and I always see things better, a lot in hindsight. I'm like, okay, well, we're not going to do that again. Oh, here's where we could improve. And so I do better with ideas in smaller batches. Rusty, I think, can see maybe a bigger picture. Some things happen along the way that affect that. We went to Bristol in 21 and 22, Roots Reunion, and that's a festival with a dozen stages or so in a downtown. And I think that changed our way of thinking. When we moved the stage from where it had been for 5 years and moved it down here, we were so, I don't want to say small-minded, but just inexperienced because we only do this festival. We're not festival people, we just do this.
Yeah.
And so when we saw that, it really opened our eyes. And now I think the ambition is different because of the way we're able to envision where we're going to be a couple years down the road. Rusty touched on these new opportunities. The distance, it feels like, from the idea to making it a reality, that distance is shortening all the time. It used to be years like, well, what if one day we could get the truckers, back to your question.
Yeah.
That seemed like, well, yeah, sometime in the non-described distant future that's not really attached to a year number, 2025. Yeah, sure, we could get the truckers, but come on, that's not
right,
real.
Right.
But now we're like, is there a limit? I don't know.
How do you balance that? Because one of the things that's so great about the festival is that we open this conversation talking about community and connection, right? That's what was so special about last night for me, was I saw friends that I've had for a long time. I saw friends that I've made here. I caught up with someone who I've known online and that kind of relationship for 4 years, and we'd never met in person. And we met in person, and he told me how much the podcast meant to him. And we're sitting there watching the Drive-By Truckers, and I'm crying, and I'm like, it's just my favorite band in the world, and we're all singing along, and it's just such a beautiful. And he's telling me how much the podcast means to him, and there's that doesn't happen necessarily at if a festival gets too big. Do you have a sense of that? Are you worried about that at all?
I think we have natural limitations. We are in a small park in a small town. There's not a whole lot of resources here, and this is our home. This is where we're going to keep it. I think we can grow this thing through our town. We've seen the model for it. We know how to do it. It's just a matter of when's that time going to happen, and have separate stages all over the town. Maybe even have a few stages that are just open to the community, that are free, to the community, and just really, bringing. We think we know what our cap is. We don't know for sure, but bringing those people in, trying to get to that cap. I think if we get to that cap, we'll be in a stronger position to see this thing go further. Because it really does take people to make one of these happen. It's not a small feat.
No.
There's a lot that goes into this, and we're just doing our best each year to incrementally grow. I think we kind of seems like we're growing about 10 or 20% each year, and we're growing our audience. This year's been a tough year ticket-wise, but I think that's a temporary thing, and it just ebbs and flows, and we're just trying to make the best of it and come out on the other end with some good ideas to perpetuate it and to grow it and to make it this thing that just goes on way past us.
Yeah,
we really this is a legacy, I think, for us. I would say, and we've already got young guys and girls that have they've bought in. They're here to help, and they don't need a lot of instruction. They just go and do, and we love that. That's, to me, it's very humbling just to even think about.
Yeah.
These people giving of their time in such a way that they don't ask anything in return. They're just here to serve for the greater purpose, and we can see it, how it affects our community and it affects our little town, and I think others are joining us in that. We've had a long vision for this, and I think that one thing that I want to give a shout out to is our city. Our city has really supported us like they never have before, and they are very much behind us. They want to do whatever they can do to support us. They're a phone call away, and we cannot ask for more than that from our city. And then our sponsors have been tremendous. Each year we grow our sponsorships by, I mean, we've probably grown 40% this year, you know, so obviously people like what we're doing. We like what we're doing, but, you know, that's kind of social proof for us. It's like these people are willing to put their money where their mouth is and support us, and that's it's awesome. You know, it's an awesome responsibility, but it's awesome to have that.
Yeah.
Because that means you're doing something right. We don't feel like we're doing right all the time, but when you see others come behind you and they show you in different ways, that's kind of probably reward enough for us, you know, that others just believe in it.
What is it about, you mentioned that the city government's been supportive. There's something that I've come to know about this area since we've been coming here, really, including like the concert series over at Bach Tower Gardens, that I've been to a couple of shows there and interviewed Hayes Carl over there the year, I think, before he was here. Year after, yeah. What is it about this place? Because I think when I'm from Ocala, north of here for folks listening, a town that I think has a lot of commonalities with Lake Wales, but at the same time, I'm not sure something like this would go over well in Ocala. I think there might be resistance to it. And what is it about the culture of here that like allows for this festival and to have so much support from the community?
In one way, I don't know that I have an answer for that. It does have like some kind of special sauce. It's a combination of factors. Rusty and I are about the same age, sort of grew up in very similar ways. Didn't know it until we were raising families that we had such a strong sense of music and just the enjoyment of music and love of music. And had we not been asked to sort of do the chair the Rotary barbecue for 6 years, I mean, all those things had to come together. That's about us. Beyond that, Lake Wales, yeah, has a long tradition. It's hard to say. We kept that small town identity for a long time. That's harder and harder to do in Florida, and you feel like maybe because of that, it kept an identity that is unique. A lot of small towns, maybe all the small towns do that. Whatever the neighboring town has, that's theirs, and they should keep that, and it makes them distinct. Rusty and I think, find those things about Lake Wales that have been here, traditions, festivals particularly. My mom had a history of a long one that's still going. Pioneer Day, it's been in Lake Wales every year. Mardi Gras is every year. Lake Wales Art Show is every year. Some of those have been downtown, which for us feels like forever away. It's 3 blocks, but that's the way you think in a small town.
Yeah.
It seems, it's just funny that way. But this is the same place where all those festivals happen. If that hadn't been the case, if we weren't so familiar with this area, this piece of dirt, it's no more than 400 feet wide, it's like a mile long, it doesn't make sense that we do the festival here. We're in a downtown. Generally speaking, there's people that live across the street. The football field, literally, I've said this a million times, the goalpost at the football field where the high school plays is 200 feet from our stage.
There was a game being played during the headliner a couple of years ago.
Yeah, 2022, I think.
Yeah.
And like the crowd's cheering and he's walking through our crowd and everyone thinks that the crowd at the football game is cheering for him somehow. We all kind of had a moment there like, what just happened? That was so strange. Yeah, stuff like that. And you wouldn't decide to have the festival here, but it seemed such a natural thing to do it because that's the tradition. It was just this little strip of playground where the festivals happen. So I say all that because I don't know that it couldn't happen in whatever, Ocala or anywhere else. Any small town where for whatever reason that combination of factors come together. You just got to find the right two guys that, will kind of kill themselves to keep doing this thing. And then the minute one of them is over and you're exhausted, we immediately start thinking about the next one. Like, okay, we're going to do that. We're going to do more of that thing and way less of that thing. We fell flat on our face here, but what if we tweaked it? And the idea, I think it's an outlet. I found for me, my job is very science driven and I'm not an engineer, but it's I'm kind of wired that way. And this for me became a creative outlet. Like I work mostly in like site design. That's kind of my thing. How the little jigsaw pieces fit together and the limitations of infrastructure, like no bathrooms, no fence, no security, no power, no water. I mean, we have some of all that, but it's not a fairground.
Yeah. Well, you guys do it. That's interesting to note because, like, I feel like you do an excellent job with all of that. Like this festival, those things can make or break a festival. Those details, the bathrooms, the water, the whole bit, and you guys do an excellent job with that. I'm interested in. We've talked a little bit about, without intending to, some of your individual strengths and kind of like what you bring to the table. What is it about your relationship and your individual strengths that like really make this work?
I think the mutual respect we have for each other is the secret sauce. We can butt heads and we can come back together, and it's water under the bridge, And if you don't have that kind of relationship, if you walk around with a lot of resentment or, it's not going to last. You have to be able to put egos aside and just be all in on the thing, whatever the thing is. This is our thing, and it's worked for us. Reid tempers me. I tend to think big picture mostly. He's the one that's putting together like the minute details. Where's this going to go and where's that going to go and all of this. And so, and then we have other different skills that just suit us better for different aspects of the event. I work for a CPA firm, so I'm, in the weeds on the numbers. Reid works for doing environmental consulting, so he's on the grounds and looking at all of the topo maps to see where we can put the second stage and that sort of stuff. So we use these basic skills that we have in our own way, and then we kind of overlap on all the other stuff. And we've got people that come alongside us that really just they do, a world of help. Like, we couldn't do it without the team that we have, Danielle and Lock and Key and Midwood Entertainment and all those folks. We meet with them once a week for the entire year, and we all come together as a team on these 2 days, and everybody functions at a very high level, and we really appreciate that because it makes our jobs a lot easier.
Awesome. Well, we got Eddie 9-Volt about to start here on this main stage, so I don't want to take much more of your time, but I got to ask, like, who are the dream headliners that we haven't had yet that, because you got mine already last night, so other than maybe a former member of that band.
Yeah, my daughter would like Chapel Roan, but that's not going to happen. So.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, we can tell you that, but any big Americana name that a household name, they're definitely on our list. You know, we might have to build up to that, but we're constantly thinking about that. And
Reid will bite.
No, I won't actually. but I'll say it's funny. A way that Rusty and I sort of temper each other or compliment. He's always like he's right out there with a big name. He didn't do it just now, but often we talk about like, we got to go here. And if we go here, we go big or go home. And I am more. I don't know if like it's an underdog attraction I have, but I'm like, I would love nothing more to have like 8 or 10 stages with a lot of different style bands. I'm a jazz guy. It's where all my music tastes are like all jazz tied up. And so, Porch Fest and a little nook over here, and this band that's maybe up and coming. Not that we're necessarily going to break a new band. Maybe we could. But, I would love just like a pedal steel duo over here or something crazy like that. And I love just the ability. What really one of the things that excites me is yes, headliners are going to sell your tickets, and without them, this isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
But now we love having the second stage, and we've already bumped into a half dozen people this week. They're like, well, next year, we could do this, and what if we brought that? Hey, they could be a second stage headliner. So it's about the whole festival. Yes, to your point, the headliner is kind of a lot. It's like you got to have that. But I love sort of filling in the blanks on the trickle-down part of it. That's not really an answer to your question, but I wanted to throw that in.
That's all right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Jason Isbell, John Moreland, Bill next year.
Somebody came up to me
Bill next year,
and came up and said, please verify this for me. We heard that Jason Isbell is playing with Drive-By Truckers tonight. I was like, don't count on it, babe.
Yeah.
I would never say no to that. I would just say, hey, listen, there may be things going on here that I don't know about.
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
I've been busy. I don't know.
I'm so tied up in the back of VIP with beer. I don't think it might be.
Well, guys, thank you so much. And thank you so much for this festival. I can't overstate, how much this means to us, and every year we mark it on our calendars, and we look forward to it all year. And
we listen to your stuff, man.
I appreciate it.
It's contagious.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that support as well. So let's get back to the festival. But again, thanks, y'all.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. Rusty and Reid, y'all. Thank you so much, gentlemen. OrangeBlossomRevue.com for all things Orange Blossom Revue. If you live in Florida, you gotta go. It's well worth a trip from out of state as well. Top-notch festival in an intimate setting. Killer lineup every year. I can't say enough about it. The food options are great. I'm so grateful that they have us back every year, and Jen and I will be there. So, hey, if you're at Orange Blossom Revue, it's several months away, but December will come here before you know it. So come say hi to us. If you see us out there, marinadepodcast.com for all things The Marinade. Follow us on all the socials. We enjoy interacting with folks. Send us a message, connect with us, send us an email, marinadepodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to marinadepodcast.com and just send us a message through the website. Folks do that fairly often, and I really appreciate it. Subscribe and give us a 5-star rating on your podcast app. Tell a friend about the show. These are all free ways to support the Marinade. In fact, go do that right now while you're listening, please. It's such a little bit of effort that goes a long way. It makes a big difference for us. Also, please follow Life's Greatest Hits on all the socials. We're especially active on Instagram. And that account, there's more than just my podcast with my dear friend Jordan Foley, where we celebrate vinyl and get together. It's once a month we get together, we listen to a record, and we talk about it. But it's so much more than that. We also share a song of the week and explain why we chose that particular song. Jordan does one week, I do the next. We on Friday, when records are released, we try to share the records. We do share the records that we're listening to, that we're fired up about. Just a fantastic way to connect with people, and we're really grateful that folks are listening and spreading the word about Life's Greatest Hits. We're about to record another episode featuring Ben Nichols' latest solo record. Our 2025 Superlatives episode is out. Thank you for listening, everybody. If you really like what we're doing on this Marinade thing, consider joining our Patreon community, y'all, for $2 a month. That's it. You can gain access to Patreon-exclusive content like our show, Jason's Journey, where I talk about the moments that shape my creative life and provide a window into the process of making the Marinade. If you've ever been curious about Patreon, just dip your toe in the waters, y'all. You can try a free trial. See if you like it. No pressure. Try it for 7 days. Set a reminder on your phone in case you want to cancel. It's a lot of fun for me. I get to share moments about the show and also just about my creative life. I recently shared about the process of making my debut EP, which is recorded, y'all. It is recorded. It's being mixed. We're going to get it out to y'all pretty soon. My goal is to have it out by the summer at the absolute latest, and it looks like we'll get it out before then. But I want to have it out by the summer so I can do a little tour of the South. So if you have any venues in mind or any connections with folks that might want to hear my songs, let me know. I would really like to come to your town and play. I mean, I'm saying the South, but I'm willing to travel if the opportunity is right. So yeah, keep that in mind. Let me know. I'm very, very excited about it. Very, very excited about it. And if you can help out also, if you want to Venmo or PayPal us because you don't want to commit to a monthly subscription on Patreon, I totally get that. Just at the Marinade, you can just send me $1. If everybody who listened chipped in $1, this record would be not only made, which is happening already, but also, we'd be talking about maybe making some vinyl. It would help to make some merch. We got some cool merch ideas. So yeah, let me know, y'all. And thank you for everything, everybody. 5 years of covering this festival. Each one has revealed something new. Each one has been special. And we continue to get these opportunities. Until next time, go out and create something. Cheers, y'all.